MakerDAO team could do that.
From Paris.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I was just bonjour.
Yeah, cool to meet you guys.
ECC conference.
Yes.
So were there too?
Sorry?
Were you there in the ECC conference?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You're a regular.
Was
at
around.
conference.
Yeah. Seems so.
How familiar are you with MakerDAO?
Not very familiar.
Not familiar. How about
I know.
DAI?
What?
Stablecoin.
Yeah, I know DAI. Yeah.
Do you know the difference between both of them, or
No.
you don't know the difference?
I've used DAI, but I didn't use. Yeah. I don't know very much well the ecosystem.
What did you use DAI for?
Just to try. Bought some DAI, then resold.
Okay.
And that's it.
So you bought it and you sold it for more, or
You sold it for
just buying and selling on the MetaMask.
Ah, okay. So you used it.
So
to buy.
I use it just to experiment, but just not I'm not a regular user for specific purposes. Yeah.
Very cool. And how do you feel about stablecoins? You think they're pretty important to have?
I think so. Seems like a popular use case. I mean, not since Luna crash, but
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. No, I think it's useful. Yeah.
Yeah, very
Definitely.
useful. And how do you think the Paris community is as far as crypto? They're adapting, or just the average person in Paris? Are they really into crypto? Have they never heard of crypto?
I think Paris is quite strong environment right now. You know, many companies being created in the crypto space, quite active from what I've seen, and yeah, you have some very successful companies like Sorare or
That's
Dia.
right. So rare. You know Julian?
No, not personally.
But you've heard of him, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you too, I guess.
Yeah.
But you have some very strong ecosystems, especially the Stackware ecosystem with
I met the guys downstairs.
yeah, they're downstairs. Yeah, it's a super cool project, cool community, evolving quite strongly. So I recommend anyone to look at what they're doing.
Very awesome. I heard there are some communities in France that are becoming DAOs. Is that true? Have you heard that?
No, one of the community I'm actually a part of, a member of the Jericho community, a community of builders. That's something that's quite cool that I haven't seen neither here or in Berlin or anywhere. You have that builder community where you have basically like people that want to create Web3 companies that are all there and trying to.
But is it a territory or is just?
It was launched in Paris. Now it's getting global.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Very cool.
it's quite small, but it's growing and very cool members. So I recommend you have a look at the Jericho website.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And one last thing, would you ever buy MakerDAO, the token?
No, I have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
All right. You heard it here first. Thank you, brother. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a nice day.
Great talking to you. Cheers. All right, we're here with
Robert.
Robert.
Yes.
Robert
Robert.
Lewandowski.
Robert Maj, actually. Not Lewandowski, but close.
Oh, very good. What brought you here to ETH Warsaw?
ETH Warsaw to learn, basically.
okay.
Because I just started learning coding. I'm the beginner, to be honest.
Oh, very cool.
So, but I have a lot of friends which are in the industry for years, so they help me out with everything, basically. And I think events like this is the best place to learn, basically, and meet new people, get new ideas, and
learn how to code.
make very good connections.
So you're learning Solidity right now?
Yes, but it's very hard for me because I just started coding from scratch. So,
You'll get it.
but I think 1 year maybe.
Morales.
What?
What academy are you doing?
No. I
Just
just
YouTube?
started by myself. You know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, very
I think
nice.
it's a good thing for the future. You know.
Do you think you're going to be a white hat hacker or a black hat hacker?
I don't know.
DeFi expert incoming.
Yeah, maybe.
As long as you don't try to rug Maker, then we'll be okay.
No.
Okay.
Do you wear glasses?
No.
Okay. Too bad. Otherwise, I would have a free DAI
Yeah, I have that.
He has the free.
I have the free merch from everybody.
All right, but you're enjoying the conference overall?
Yes, it's very good. It's much to learn.
Very cool.
Still.
Man.
I don't understand everything, but it's cool to watch people explaining it.
Yeah, but the organizer had mentioned that they want people like you to come out and.
Yes, they are very open for that.
Yeah.
I registered for the hackathon, but I don't have that much experience to hack with other people.
Yeah.
But I explained that in the description that I am here to learn, and they accepted me anyway.
Very cool.
So,
Hey, we're right now interviewing a future black hat hacker.
no, I wouldn't say that.
They're hiring.
He's learning,
They're
he's
hiring.
learning how to code.
Nice. All right. Yeah, definitely.
He's learning how to code, and I'm asking him if he's
But
going to
I
be a white
just
hat or a
started.
black hat. But
I will not be a black hacker soon.
Not on camera anyway.
No, I'm nervous.
but thank you, man. Thank you for
No
speaking to
problem,
us.
no problem.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get much from this material.
No, this is good. This is exactly what the maker community needs to hear. That you are the future of
Yeah,
blockchain
I
tech.
hope so.
Very
But
awesome,
it's very
Robert.
good thing to learn, I think, at the moment.
Absolutely. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, no problem.
Cheers.
See you.
Ready.
All right, we're here with none other than the Growth Core unit, RAJIV. It's out of the streets of London.
Hey.
Whoa!
London, England, UK, what have you. Here with my main man of the hour who's covering for Choopy.
Shupi, I didn't bring any beer, I'm sorry, but gonna make that up later.
There you go. Yeah, we're outdoors here in front of ETH Warsaw. A lot of people are out. It's a beautiful day. What do you think of the conference so far, Rich?
Excellent. Lovely venue. Really enjoyed it. Smaller than some of the other conferences, but very focused.
Very focused, right? Are you meeting a lot of folks that are looking to do business development, or?
I'd say there's been less BD opportunities here. It's the first time I've spoken on a panel for MakerDAO, so that was really exciting.
How was that experience?
It was nice. It makes you realize how big and respected MakerDAO is in the community. We're a reference. Everyone's watching us. Everybody wants to see, what we're doing and how we're thinking.
Yeah, I would say that a lot of the talk here has been about MakerDAO. Although Ralph and I have been walking around and interviewing people, asking if they ever heard of MakerDAO, and some haven't, right, Ralph? Or,
Yeah, I think it's like 50-50 almost. Like, there's still some opportunity to get, I think DAI, more people have heard of DAI than of Maker, obviously.
I'd say us swag has been extremely popular here. Everyone's come round to the booth for that, and of course Divinity, yet another
Is
super hit.
is that attributed to Growth Core Unit putting that together?
I'm not sure. I think more bourbon.
Bourbon, interesting. So he put together some of the swag and some of the nice little, what do you call those, chargers?
Oh, the battery packs,
Yeah,
yeah.
the battery packs. Oh, it's super interesting. So let's get to it, man. You're out here. It's not too far of a hike for you, right?
Oh,
So,
very close.
very close. What are you thinking when you're coming to E4? So as far as like business development and finding new opportunities for MakerDAO, what's your thought process there?
It's a new region for me, so I came here quite curious to talk to new projects. I'd say we've seen a lot of familiar faces as opposed to new people. So, yeah, and there's been a lot of events in Europe recently. There was, of course, Paris, Amsterdam. So I think we're closing a bit of a cycle of the events here.
Yeah, for sure. And walk us through some of the past deals that you might have been working on and unfortunately didn't come into fruition because of lack of the ability for MakerDAO to execute real-world assets, or just getting over that hurdle. And I know one of the biggest hurdles is like the KYC processing with a lot of these institutional players, or even perhaps some of the Fortune 500 names that everyone's familiar with. Just kind of give us an idea what you were working on, if possible.
Yeah. It's been an interesting few months. There's definitely been a change in risk appetite from a lot of the big institutions. Without a doubt, there's so much appetite to experiment with DeFi. I'm really looking forward to pushing over the line some of the reference cases we have, which in Europe are StockGen and Monetalis, and as you sort of said, going slower than we would like, but we're sort of blazing the path in terms of the learnings of how to get this over the line. I'm based in London, so I am speaking to a lot of institutions who are watching DeFi with ever more interested eyes, and I think there is a lot of regulatory clarity coming, which they're comfortable with because they're not in a rush to do anything, but they do welcome the regulatory focus on the segment, and like they're considering all sorts of things, from big financial names launching their own stable coins to just understanding how they can better tap DeFi. We've had examples of experiments we've done which we weren't able to create a lot of PR on because compliance teams started to get nervous in this new regulatory environment. So especially everything that happened with Terra.
Can only imagine.
But a lot of these big institutions, they're not in a rush. They play it long term, and I actually see them almost welcoming this new environment.
So that's kind of the supply side, I would say, of DAI. Like, are you also focusing efforts on the demand side, or retail side, or what are some thoughts there?
So we've actually just done a really nice campaign which got some visibility on the forum, and we'll certainly give more feedback with Argent, really big wallet provider.
Yeah, I saw that. That was awesome.
So that's a conversation we've been having with Argent for a while. We ran that campaign almost as a pilot to see how we can promote DAI side demand, and it was very successful. But of course we leveraged a method that Argent were comfortable with, something that they've done with other tokens. As an early experiment, the nice thing about it was it drove a lot of new users to DAI. It was native on layer 2, so as Argent ZK Sync, and we saw that uptick. And there's so much more we can do with Argent. And actually, as a result of that Argent campaign that we ran, a lot of new wallets have reached out to us saying we want to do the same. So we're in discussions with those. So expect to see a lot more on both demand side and supply side.
So you're still working with the Argent people, is that correct?
Yeah. We've got so much more planned.
They're in Belgium, right?
With them. They're London based.
Oh, London.
Yeah, and they are leading the way with both ZK Sync, and of course they've got the StarkNet extension, Argentex, which is seeing huge progress. So we've been speaking with them for ages. We've got loads of plans of how to scale together. They're huge fans of everything we're building, and we ran a huge educational campaign with them as well. Like, they've got the distribution, they've got the user base, so it's a really nice way for us to reach end users, educate them, incentivate them to get DAI, and actually as a follow-up we're actually now getting user feedback and being able to pose questions to them in terms of how do they use their DAI, and that all just helps us in terms of our understanding of how to further growth.
Wallet, I think, Argent. One of the most user-friendly wallets in terms of onboarding.
Yeah,
Awesome
and they're really excited about layer 2 because they believe it actually transforms the user journey and the UX that they can deliver now for users in the DeFi landscape. So yeah, definitely a lot more to be done there.
Very cool. Switching gears, you're based in London, and I know you have a little bit of a background of working with TradFi. Folks, you might have some connections. Your eyes on the ground. Or is it your ears on the ground? I don't know how the saying goes, but you are the eyes and ears of some of the community's ability to kind of engage with institutional players, as you mentioned earlier. Well, what are you hearing now that we had the off-fact sanctions, unfortunately, of Tornado Cash? What are you hearing on the streets as far as what institutions are thinking and how they plan on getting involved in the crypto ecosystem?
Yeah, I think they are going to welcome regulatory clarity that's missing for them right now, and I see more interest than ever from them. But it's not going to happen quickly. Like, they take their time. So
in the UK, do you see effects of MiCA? Because UK is kind of charting their own path in a way, right?
So UK came up with the Financial Markets and Services Bill that will regulate stable coins. It's going to create a framework for stablecoin issuance, and I know on the back of that some really big names, they're starting to look at these markets.
Yeah.
So where they are right now is they're building their teams, they're building digital asset teams, they're doing their research. I think we're going to see a lot of movement, but of course, like everyone, I mean, it's been a bit of a whirlwind last few months as the world has sort of changed. There are a lot of regulatory questions, and I'm hopeful that it all actually works out positively. There's a lot of discussion within MakerDAO itself in terms of how do we position ourselves. So,
and in your opinion, how should MakerDAO position itself? And this is just your opinion, by the way, not a representation of your core unit, which is growth. Your opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on because I'm still getting my head around the different scenarios and the pros and cons of each. I think if we're going to do something like real world assets with MetaDAOs, there are components of centralization that you simply cannot avoid, and elements of regulation that you simply have to take on board. But how we do that, I think now's the time to actually understand the landscape and chart a course.
But there are components of the MetaDAOs that allow certain MetaDAOs to have a centralized component to it. Do you think that maybe there's if I understood it correctly, by the way, I could be totally wrong there, but you think that the MetaDAO, and now we're getting into the end game, do you think it actually is a very, hard thing to decipher and to kind of digest when it comes to how it's going to work out? And how do you think that affects someone as a core unit team member? Not just growth, but just an individual core unit team member.
I think the vision is becoming quite clear, and personally, I get it. I think having focused MetaDAOs, focused on solving particular problems, makes sense. How does the execution look like? I guess, let's see, right? But I mean, let's chart a path to this new future.
And coming back to regulation, as growth unit, do you also focus on educating legislators or putting stuff up there in these kind of circles where these kind of people read or listen to?
No, I wouldn't say it's a core part of what we're doing. It's obviously a very specialist area if you're going to start sitting and educating regulators.
Yeah.
So
that's probably more in the SES feed than.
Yeah, I mean.
We're good.
We're good? With sound? Cool.
Yeah. That's fine. We picked the best spot to post this. But yeah.
Kurt found the bug.
Yeah,
using our tool.
Okay, so your tool is Certora. Can you kind of give us a breakdown of what exactly it does and how it does help someone like protocol engineering find any kind of bugs or exploits that might be in the smart contracts?
Yeah, we have a tool that automates testing for smart contracts. Usually for testing, you're checking specific values in specific scenarios. Say you transfer one token to the address 2 and see that that's fine. But what happens if you try other addresses, other amounts? You can never cover them all. So our tool replaces, say, that amount with a symbol, say X, and the address is Y, and then we prove it for every X and every Y. And we do that by converting the code into a logical formula and using math to prove it. So we're not just testing all the values.
Oh wow, so it's similar to doing a zero-knowledge proof, except that you're doing a proof based on some kind of function, and if it doesn't execute, then there's something wrong there.
Not quite. You need us to provide us an input file called a specification file, which could be like a description of the test. And we take the source code and the test and combine them together to this logical formula that I've told you about.
So it's more like abstracting it into like a Turing machine in a way?
Yeah, we're abstracting tests.
Yeah.
You could say, in other words, that we can prove that the code actually works correctly. Not just in particular use case, but we can prove for all scenarios that the code is correct according to the properties that are defined.
But
so
for example, you kind of have the output space. You kind of define the output space in a way. And then you test if the output space is matching with the desired output.
Exactly, 100%.
Okay.
And the PE, the maker team, they define those properties themselves. Like for some teams, we write the properties. In your case, in maker case, your team writes the properties, and that's how they found the bug. They write the property, and using a prover, they find the case where the property doesn't work.
Okay, but then how does the Solidity code get translated into your format? How does that happen?
That's the magic.
Yeah, that's what happens behind the scenes. Yeah, this is where our tools come into play. It's a branch of science called formal verification. Our company was founded by a professor for it. Smart contract is a very good use case for the technology. Because
what's the name of the professor if somebody wants to look up?
Muli Sagiv, he's our CEO. Yeah, and a celebrity in his own right. He also founded the DeFi Security Summit last week. You've heard about it.
Now the $1 million question, how far can this take you with Cairo? Or is it too early?
Currently, we do not support Cairo, unfortunately.
It's a little early. Would it do the basics like Rust and anything else that's being used right now? Awesome. Yeah.
I think Rust is on the roadmap. Wasm not yet, but maybe it's the next item on the roadmap.
So you guys are going to save a lot of folks a lot of money eventually down the road.
That's the goal, to make DeFi more secure for everybody.
That's our slogan, preventing billions.
Yeah, also moving fast and breaking nothing.
Yeah, I saw that. It's
Yeah.
Cool marketing.
How is it working with PE from Maker? Are they good to you, or are they pretty tough, like busting your balls all the time? If you want to share, like I know this is like a.
I didn't really understand the question.
Is it good to work with protocol engineering from Maker? Or?
Yes, they're very smart people and they're pretty independent, and they find us lots of good use cases and edge cases for our tools, so they advanced our technology. It's a good symbiosis.
I think basically Maker was the first customer of Certora. So Certora basically, it came. The reason for Certora emergence is MakerDAO, the first customer that found it useful.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Was that Kurt Barry who found you guys, or you know Kurt Barry, or?
Yeah, we know him, of course.
Yeah. Was it Kurt Barry that came up with the idea, or? It must have been one of those guys. Those guys are getting brains. So.
Yeah, you have to ask Mule about that. He made the original connection.
Yeah, we do not know. We've not been here, but yeah, we work with Kurt, we work with Gonzalo and other people.
Oh,
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you guys for taking time out to talk to the Maker community and getting to know you guys. I know we saw the Kurt Barry post. I remember reading it, and I kind of remember some of the stuff you're telling me right now.
Right.
So it's super impressive. Certora. Hope to hear big things from you guys in the future.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right, folks, we got here Paulina. I think this might be the first woman that we've had on the Chupiano Pro MakerDAO Delegate Happy Hour. Paulina, what's going on? I see you're an organizer. Do you know Pablo from
I do know. I spent a lot of time with Pablo over the last few days. So I'm Paulina. I'm the head of commercial at Ramp Network, and I'm also one of the co-organizers of ETH Warsaw. So we did that. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to you. This is a great event.
Thanks.
You guys have done a tremendous job with inviting a lot of people from Poland, I guess, and
Not just that. I mean, actually, majority of the crowd is international. Students are invited here as well. They received promotional tickets, but majority of the audience are actually people just interested in Web3 and building on top of Ethereum. And that's really uplifting because we really wanted to get that out to the community. We did not want that event to be restricted to just a few people. We wanted to have global audience there, and we managed to get a lot of free speakers from all around the world. We have amazing sponsors. We're working with MakerDAO, with RAJIV, TrueFi, Starkware, lots of things there. There's so many people here, so I think it's quite a big thing. And of course, Ramp being front and center here.
Can you kind of walk us through what Ramp does?
Sure. So Ramp is building the fiat crypto infrastructure for retail brands. So we're working with the top games in the industry. We're working with the wallets. We're making that onboarding process for everyday user much more streamlined, much more easier. We believe that we're right now transitioning from the speculative economy into the use case-driven economy, and having that simplified process for onboarding new people into crypto is essential for that, and we're taking care of that.
Terrific. I think you guys have been around for a while, right? Because I feel like I heard about RAMP back before 2019.
Yeah, so we've been around since 2017. I joined in early 2018, so not so long after
You're
that.
an OG.
I am the OG. Yeah, I am the employee number 2, by the way. So that's making
Congratulations.
Thanks. It makes it kind of fun to see how the industry and just crypto has changed. So yeah, RAMP has been around for a long time. We're basically working globally right now. We started with just the UK, and then we moved towards 150 markets globally, or more than that actually. So yeah, we've been around for a long time. We're supporting multiple different pay-in and pay-out methods for people to make sure that the process works for them. And yeah, we're keeping building, and that's the thing for RAMP. And we're also headquartered in Poland, in Warsaw. RAMP was started by 2 Polish guys. So we have quite a big team here on site. We have a few offices in Poland, one in London, one in the US, and we keep growing.
Oh, what state in the U.S. are you guys located in?
We're in Miami.
Oh, very nice. Sunshine City.
Going to Miami, yeah.
So I wanted to ask you because, I think to me you're an OG, a veteran. What are some of the things you can tell a young, up-and-coming developer or business entrepreneur, anybody who's in marketing and wants to get into crypto and can survive the ups and downs? As you know, there's a lot of ups and downs in this industry. What are the things you might tell, yourself if you were, again, 18 years old? I mean, you look like you're still 18, but what is some advice you might have for someone like that?
So I would go with don't invest more than you can lose. I mean, a lot of people are getting discouraged by that very early on. They invest a lot into something that they did not research entirely, and then they're rocked, and they are discouraged for participating in crypto altogether. So make your investments on the right level. That's one part. Second thing is start with something where you can actually have access to the right community. Start with a conference like that. Start with an event, maybe a meetup in your town. Meet a few people. Try to get in there through those connections, through the people that you meet. Because crypto ecosystems are a complex maze of different products, and it's not an easy thing to find your way. It's not an easy thing to understand what's an okay product and what's sort of scammy. So find someone that you respect, find someone that you can trust to guide you through that. It's super important to have those good role models when you're starting your journey in crypto. I had help from my friends and the Warsaw community when I started, and I'm very appreciative of that. I don't have the usual path because I actually started with Ethereum, and I only bought Bitcoin after like 2 years of being in crypto, so it took me a lot of time to believe in that store of value part of Bitcoin. But it's good to find the right community to grow with that. I always learn most about crypto when I'm on conferences like that. So it's super useful to actually attend one of those. It's super useful to find Twitter influencers that speak well to you. And of course, when they tell you that something is gonna, have 10x growth in months or 100k API, don't believe that. Don't believe that. It's not true. It's probably gonna be some sort of scam. Go for rational growth. Go for use case over hype, and just do your research. I think that's that.
Spoken like a true OG. Words of wisdom from Paulina of RAMP Protocol. Paulina, thank you
RAMP
for being...
network, not the protocol.
Ah, okay. Well, listen, thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time, and congratulations. You are the first woman on the MakerDAO community show.
Awesome. Great to be here. Huge fan of Maker. One of my favorite teams out there, so happy to be here.
Thank you, Paulina. Take care. Cheers.
Cool. Thanks. Bye.
Great to meet you, CJ. CJ, yeah. So, what's the stuff on your T-shirt? I wanted to ask. What's that project?
We're building the Web3 social metaverse. It's called Atlantis. it's essentially connecting Web3 with social, gaming, and education in one lightweight virtual world that's accessible to everybody. So it's like a lightweight first MMORPG game world that onboards users into crypto through completing questing. So it could be, for example, mint DAI, but would be like questing for. Could be deposit into other kinds of DeFi applications, trade assets on DEX, create your first crypto wallet, like zero to hero crypto onboarding. Could be a trade NFT in marketplace or vote in DAO.
So it's kind of gamified.
Exactly. Gamified interface for interacting with Web3 with actually some like conversational chatter-based education format with non-player characters and reputational loot and rewards for engaging in that questing. Imagine young people are actually able to assemble a game character with like a sword, for example, and the sword metadata represents the work they did on-chain in-game and the educational flow they completed. And they're actually like building this on-chain reputation through a cool game character.
On what platform are you building?
In what sense?
On what blockchain do you use?
We have like 11 different blockchains integrated in game. Plus we're Ethereum native. We recently launched Optimism City and had a great questing flow that onboarded users into Optimism. So like they bridged assets from the mainnet to Optimism. Just completed some action there. We also have like 1inch and Pull Together and like other applications from the Optimism ecosystem in game. And we're also actually a video voice communications platform. So imagine in the concept of MakerDAO, you have DAO Clubhouse HQ. Everybody connects on a video voice call, governance discourse, but inside of a token-gated game space. What you can actually do, once we'll integrate the MakerDAO governance contract, when we'll further explore to collaborate after the video, you can vote in the MakerDAO from inside of the game and all be connected together at the same time and engage in this discourse in a much less friction way than using, I don't know, some other kind of... Exactly, yeah.
And you can kind of create cool avatars. And
that's the vision. So we're actually about to launch a character collection, and we plan to have different wearables and equipables. But we're really excited about this premise of enabling users to earn these wearables and items in-game by completing quests and just generally being active, because we believe that's much more fun and retentive for users and true people than raw financial incentives.
So you kind of looking at other incentives than just financial incentives.
Yeah, we believe it's a very mercenary approach.
Yeah.
Like, okay, for blockchain, you have some incentive, your TVL goes crazy, but then it just, this same small subset of users move on to the next chain. When the next chain launches,
like
similar
mercenary
it's, we want to build something for people to be more engaged in the actual ecosystem overall in a longer term sense.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome.
What's the last words for the MakerDAO community?
We're all gonna make it. It's the build market, LFG.
There you go,
nice.
You heard it here first.
LFG.
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Jamil. Jamil. Yeah, there's no G, but that's fine.
With a J, yes.
Yeah, with the J.
Jamil, yeah.
Okay.
We had a famous basketball player in the U.S. I think it was Jamil Jackson. He was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's because he's called Jamil,
Yeah,
I guess.
So what's going on in StarkNet, man? Like, you guys have some big things going. You got a great community. I always see, like, on Discord, you guys are, like, pretty strong.
There is a great community, extremely passionate. A lot of downloads around the libraries, StarkNet.js, Cairo, a lot of more and more Cairo developer. It's really awesome. The community is great. You can check here.
Waiting for you.
Yeah, and we are all developing. There is more than 100 projects. There is, I would say that there is more, but 100 that are still developing. Yeah, been developing.
No, that's not on. DYDX is on Cosmos.
Yeah, DYDX is still on. No, it's not in StarkNet. It's on StarkX.
StarkX. Yes.
StarkX.
Yeah, originally in StarkX. You're right. Yeah.
Originally in StarkX, and they're moving to Cosmos next, but they're still on StarkX.
Yeah. And what's going on with like StarkNet? Is it still in alpha?
Actually, we are in a mainnet.
So it is a mainnet.
It's a mainnet. Not really one, because the real mainnet is coming in the following months.
Okay.
Which will follow with the reset of the network.
Yeah.
Reset state. So the real mainnet is coming the following months.
Yeah.
There is a bridge where you can bridge real ETH okay?
course, yeah.
But it's halted because for the moment we want to be able to be sure everything is fine, but the bridge shouldn't be halted anymore the next month probably. So you will be able to bridge as many ETH you want. So we have a growing level coming.
Are you familiar with the Maker Teleport?
Maker Teleport? No, I'm not that. I didn't interact with it actually, so I couldn't.
Okay. Yeah.
I need to.
Yeah, there's a StarkNet bridge called Maker Teleport.
Maker Teleport.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll check. I didn't interact with it, but I heard about it.
Oh, you heard of it?
Yeah, I heard of it.
So what's like the biggest selling points for StarkNet?
The biggest selling points, I would say Cairo.
Yeah. The programming language.
Yeah, because it's non-deterministic. So computation can be done extremely fast. Okay, but there is because in a CPU point of view, calculation. You have XOR calculation. With Cairo, you divide. I would say divide calculation. So you don't have XOR calculation, which is insanely slow to do. Okay, so basically Cairo for me is the big alpha of StarkNet. And
so smart contracts just perform way better than on Ethereum.
Of course, they will be better, and you will also be able to do a lot of fancy things. For instance, you could have a pay manager. So instead of paying with your account, you would have like a specific account that could pay for all your account, and also account abstraction that will certainly come in few years in Ethereum. I don't know. We've heard in ETHCC. It already exists in StarkNet.
Very cool. So what about gas fees on StarkNet?
Extremely low.
Will remain low even when transaction volume goes up?
Of course, it's extremely low. It's insanely low.
Yes. How many people in the world can fluently code in Cairo?
I couldn't give a real number because I don't know how. I couldn't know how good they are. But there is great teams actually. Yeah, good teams. At Halborn, etc. Audits are good. They show good quality in code. So I would say there is a good number of members. Yeah, they pick up quickly also. So and if we check the numbers of downloads of libraries, it's exponential. So more and more developers are getting into Cairo. And I would say more talent coming, because if there is more developers, there is more talent as well.
What do you think of this conference so far?
Oh, the conference is actually good. A lot of good projects. MakerDAO, for instance, great project. Here, Louis.
You know Louis Merkel from MakerDAO?
Of course, I know him very well. Actually, he was with me in undergrad. Actually, brought him to work. I mean, I could connect him to Maker.
Did you?
Yeah, he's a very good friend. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't claim that anything like that. But he's a very good friend.